Hello friends, excited to bring you another episode of cruX, and today's guest is going to be Shri Madan Dodeja, who is the founder and ex-CEO of Vashi Electricals. Vashi Electricals was formed in 1978. The company has got a very unique model that is now very familiar to us through the Blinkits and the Zomatos of the world. What Vashi Electricals has done very successfully is to make sure that industrial consumers are able to get products at a very, very short turnaround time, short TAT, because of the warehouses that are continuously replenished and continuously restocked by Vashi Electricals. I really like what Vashi Electricals has done with regard to its succession planning within the family. I also like Vashi Electricals for the level of automation that they've kind of brought into their business. I also like Vashi Electricals for the focus that they have on customer experience. So we are here in Bhiwandi in Thane. This is the warehousing hub of at least the western region, if not the country. So let's listen to what Madanji has got to share with us today. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Madanji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you for receiving us at your warehouse in Bhiwandi, Thane, the place where I think all the action began. Sir, if I may ask the first question, can you tell us, for the benefit of our viewers, what exactly does Vashi Group do? What is the product categories? Whom do you serve?
So presently Vashi is in the industrial product supply space, everything to do with the industry. Presently we are in electricals, power transmission, solar, automation, MRO, automobiles, but all these businesses are primarily to serve the industrial customers.
Right.
So we have a distribution business process where we are distributors for many electrical, power transmission, solar company manufacturers, and we distribute, or we call it the last mile delivery to the industries through our 27 fulfillment centers in India. We have a large sales force of more than 300 people who are the frontline soldiers in contact with the customers. We have backhand and an operation team. We work on S4, SAP HANA. We work on Salesforce and Microsoft.
Right.
So the technology is the backbone of the framework, and we have a large team sourcing the material and another team distributing the material. Ours is a daily business, something very unique. So we don't have orders for tomorrow. That's an advantage because there is no recession. If you have orders for 6 months and then suddenly they drop down to 4 months, you can relate that we are something similar to what Amazon does in our daily lives. We do it for our industrial customers all over the country. There has been a conscious effort since 1978 to know what customers need and how we can serve them and fulfill the gaps. Over the years, as per the time, we have evolved and changed our business processes to align with the customer's need. In 1978, when we started, it was a rationing era. Right. So everything was rationed. So even if somebody comes and inquires for a product, and if I say yes, I have it, there will be a smile on his face.
Right.
Today, it is vice versa. There are more players than the buyers, and there are more changes every day in the marketplace. So how you are able to align, be flexible to see that you are able to satisfy customers' needs. Customer mindset is that quick Amazon delivery and that dark store Blinkit delivery. So if you take time even to respond to them, whether it is for a price or for a service, I am sure it's only a matter of time that you will be out of the business. Right. So that is the speed at which you have to work to be in the market.
This is very helpful, Madanji. So, sir, can you give us a sense of what is the scale of the business? मतलब जो OEMs हैं, जो आपके vendors हैं, वो कितने होंगे लगभग approximate number? जो आपके customers हैं, वो कितने होंगे? और जो total SKUs जो आपकी company deal करती है, वो कितने होंगे?
So it has grown over the years. What I have consciously tried to see that I fulfill the customer's need. So when I talk to my principals, I give them the example that I am the representative of so many customers, like a member of parliament. That is the attitude I have when I talk to my OEMs or principals.
Right.
So the idea was always, when we used to sign a contract with these OEMs and principals, was only to see whether I am going to add value and bring ease of business, or I would say peace of mind to my customers, whether they would be valuing my services support. And that was the way I would like to differentiate in this marketplace.
Right.
And we were able to identify such manufacturers. It's not only I identify, they should also believe in our capabilities. So I have a 3C formula: capacity, capability and commitment. These are the things which an OEM or a principals looks in a channel partner or a distributor. So you should have capacity, you should have capability. What is there inside the box should be outside the box also in terms of services, and commitment to really take that brand forward in terms of service, in terms of satisfaction. And we try to ensure that we have all the 3C's formulas fit into our system, and these are also at the time of training inducted in our salespeople, in our back office, to see that they come up to the customer's expectations. So one thing is different. India is not a matured market. It is still evolving. For me, the competitor today is the guy who is doing business from home with a bag. He can also source from the market. He can also supply. So what is that differentiator? What is that trust which the customer would have in doing business with us? So we have to really focus and bring those attributes on the table to see that our customers value and support our business generation after generation. We have some customers who are with us for the last 4 generations.
Wow.
So coming back to SKUs, we have over the years built a knowledge bank about the parts required by different segment of industries, whether it is textile, automobile, bottling plants, or machine manufacturers, different segments, and we have those SKUs with us. Normally in industrial supplies, people sell first and then buy to service.
Correct.
Here we have more than 1 lakh SKUs in our warehouses available for customers to place orders and draw the material. In fact, we have an enterprise portal where customers can log in, check their prices, check the inventory, place an order, track the deliveries, and also check their outstandings, everything required for business without human intervention.
Right.
So we have built a lot of these advantages into our processes so that the customer is connected 24/7, not only from 9 to 6, but even on holidays. All the orders received during the day till the evening are executed, because our warehouses work till late night for the overnight delivery. And we have ensured that we have warehouses all over the country for overnight delivery to any industrial pin codes in India.
Got it. So Madanji, the business at its heart is actually quite simple. What you're doing is, let's say an OEM like Polycab, which is a leading cable and wire manufacturer, you are representing them. The value to them is that you are acting like a distribution channel, helping them to increase their sales. And the buyer could be, let's say, a small and medium sized industry. Now for the buyer, the advantage is one, price, and second is that he does not have to stock this material. He knows that he can come to you and you will be able to service that requirement fast as compared to the other players. Is that a simple way to explain your business model?
Absolutely, you are right. So in the last 46 years, everything has changed except one thing at Washi, and that is availability. People come to Washi only because they are assured that यहाँ पर material मिलता है. They are assured, and my advocacy to my salespeople is, you must make your customer lazy. so that when they are lazy, they don't plan, they are always confident that the material will be available. One thing which we ensure that our rack should be full. I think that is one reason of success. Planned inventory, availability and ease of business for customer in the shortest time. By the time he places an order in the evening, next day morning before the owner comes to the business premises or manufacturing unit, our vehicle has reached with the material. So that's the commitment and trust we have built up over the years.
Yes. So how many customers would be there, sir? At any given point in time, active customers would be about 40,000-50,000?
Yeah, they are around more than that.
And OEMs would be about 50 to 100 OEMs?
No, OEMs would be around 30-35.
30-35 OEMs. So it's very concentrated, large companies.
So it's very simple. You know, traditionally, the way our forefathers did business, how did they de-risk the business? None of the customers at Washi contributes more than 1% of the turnover. So that concept is very fixed in our mind.
Right.
And the other side is the risk management.
Right.
The OEMs, they should not contribute more than 10% of our volumes. So this is the balance we try to maintain.
Got it. Also, just to go back to the value addition for the OEM, it is also your presence ensures timely collection, right? Because once they sell to you, they get their money, they are out, right? So the credit risk is what you are essentially taking, because that's where you are vetting your end customer. And I remember first time when we spoke, Madanji, you made a very interesting comment. You said that you are not in an industrial products business, you are in a banking business.
Absolutely.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about how do you do that?
We don't give money to our customers to run their businesses. We give them supplies,
right,
to see that they are able to complete their project, earn from that and pay us. And this cycle continues. So it's very simple. If you see in the earlier stages, that was the way the community used to survive, through barters. Sometimes we give supplies to customers who probably don't have that credit rating, but I see their intent,
right,
I see their value systems, and this is the way we have grown, because these people believe that because we trusted them, we supported them, they have grown. So in their growth is our growth, in their success is our success. That's the slogan at Washi.
Got it. So somewhere the secret of success is to be able to assess what is the ability of the customer to be able to grow and pay back. Potential. And
the human potential first,
right,
and through his potential, his capabilities to drive his business. And we see, you rightly said, it's not the KYC of your customer. You must have the KYC of his customers.
Right.
So your money is secure. And his intent has to be positive with you. And that's the collaboration we work on.
Correct. So just like how a bank supplies credit or money to the SME, what Vashi Electricals does is to supply the material and becomes a partner with the SME in their growth.
Yes. Nowadays it is quite easy to get bank money, but 10 years back, 15 years back, it was not easy. Our face of the customers are SME and MSME. They are not large corporates or large public sector units. So we have these customers who value our partnership. Now that owner has multitask to do. He has to look after the export, manufacturing, HR, legal problems, sales problems. So he wants a trusted partner to see that he regularly serviced with the right material, genuine material. So this is where we fill our space. And these are our major customers who have trusted over the years, and every day they are sure to get their services, and they are assured that they will get timely supplies and at correct prices.
So Madanji, if you were to do a little bit of a flashback, so would you want to start with where you were born and what was the early maybe 15-20 years of your life like?
So I think the first generation normally goes through such challenges of life, but I always believe success is not the monopoly of few rich people or some elite people. It's the birthright of every person born on this planet. And I used to always believe that given an opportunity, we have to push ourselves, stretch ourselves, and be in the marketplace. So though my childhood was a little disturbing because I lost my father when I was about 10 or 11 years old. My mother became a widow at the age of 27. I, being the eldest, had to really see that I do everything which can bring a smile on my mother's face. Probably that became my personality, I must tell you, Mr. Venkat. Because I want to do everything which will bring happiness to my mother, and that became my nature. Money was secondary for me. Money will automatically come to you if you are at the right place and doing the right work at the right time. And I believed the success was winning hearts of my customers, because there was nothing very special in the type of business we do. There are I would say hundreds of equal channel partners available, but still Washi scores very high in the ratings in the industry today. It's only because we always have that gratitude. We always believe that relationship is the only differentiator, and we go out of our way to see how comfortable we make our customers' journey in their success.
Take us back to your first transaction. What was the first sale like? How did you conclude that? And who was it with?
So at that time, we did not have any workplace. We started this business from my home, my brother and my wife. So when we wanted to buy our first office, real estate developers said, okay, this 500 square feet office, we can give it to you, but it will cost 1,19,000. Yeah, it was 1,19,000 in 1978. So I did not have that money. I went to one of my friends who knew me well, and he used to buy some material from us. So he said, I can give you a list of requirement. You bring this material, I will give you the payment. You go and make payment to this real estate guy. So I went to this supplier. He was the largest distributor for Larsen and Toubro. And I gave him a list. He knew me very well. I told him I want this material. And at that time, I said earlier, it was always a rationing period. To get material on credit is very tough. Rationing period, if the material is available, people will give you advance also. So this gentleman, I told him, I want this material, but I will be able to pay you in 90 days. He looked in my eyes and he told his manager, "Inko material de do." And he gave me that 1,20,000 rupees material. I brought that material in a taxi, delivered to my friend, and took that money, went to the builder, took the possession of the house. And what I used to do is, every 88th day, I used to give him that 1,21,000 check and another 1,20,000 material.
Right.
And I used to rotate his money for the next 4 to 5 years. So after many years, when we were celebrating Washi's, I think 20th or 25th anniversary, I requested this gentleman to come for the celebration, and I bowed down. Okay, if you wouldn't have believed me on that day, probably I wouldn't have reached this point. And I acknowledged that in front of more than 2,000 of our customers. Okay, this gentleman really trusted me when I did not have anything. That is the gratitude you should have. Right. You should believe in your life, nature. What you give will come back to you. I have supported more than 500 entrepreneurs to get a VAT number, to get a GST number. I have gone out of my way to see that they are able to start their startups. So this is the way you have to give back. So we have in our office here a skill development center where we get boys from around surroundings who don't know the purpose of life. If you ask them, what do you want to become? So they say they want to become a boxer. You know, nowadays that is a very big fashion. They want to build up their body and they want to become a boxer of some politician or some star in the vicinity of the area they stay. And I tell them, okay, you can do many more things. I want to touch their minds. I want to really inspire them. I want to tell them stories. Okay, success is your birthright. Why don't you experiment this? In fact, I must tell you, there was a movie last year, 12th Fail. I must have bought more than 300 tickets and sent all such boys.
Right.
Okay, please go and see. You may even one line if you get back. First, I will be able to celebrate. Here also we try to see that the guy who has joined as a loader, that is the minimum post. Can he become a picker? Can he become a driver? Can he become a computer operator? Can he become a sales executive? Can he become a warehouse executive? I am impatient that people should grow once they are working with us. And I am so happy. I have many examples at Washi who have grown to become vice president and they started from zero. It's the commitment, it's the involvement which you have to measure and not the academics. And I believe that you have to invest in your people,
Right.
Invest in their well-being, and I think it will be reciprocated. Right. That's my belief.
So, Madanji, I think a very important takeaway for all of us is, people see where Vashi Electricals is today, but everything has got a starting point, and the starting point is always small. You have to start from zero when you start a business, right? See, one other very interesting aspect of your life, Madanji, I feel is, your journey as an entrepreneur, there's lots to learn from, but also there is lots to learn from your journey as an employee, because you joined the workforce as an employee probably when most people are in high school or college. Absolutely. And you joined as a peon and you left as an MD at the age of maybe 26 or 27. So can you take us through that journey also?
I come from a very poor family, and I said earlier that I need to do everything which will bring happiness to my mother. And my mother felt that instead of going to the college, I want you to first look for a job, and so that we are able to get something available for every meal. So she took me to one of her relatives for a job, and this man, he looked at me and he said, he is underage, you cannot employ him. And my mother with folded hands requested him, but he said, okay, let me try. And then from the next day he called me, and I was appointed below a peon's job. So at my first salary was 165 rupees. And my peon salary was 175. But this guy, Ashok Kadam, he is working with us now. And it's a coincidence that he decided that he wants to work with Washi.
Right.
So now he taught me what does one bell mean, what the two bells mean. I was absolutely wrong. This is the way my training started. But I was always ready to learn. And I was always ready to probe what other people are doing. Suppose somebody is on leave today, I would immediately do his work. Then my boss used to feel, oh, you can do this also? Okay, from tomorrow you do this. In my career, I never got a promotion. I never got a designation. But I was always appreciated, and I never bargained how much money I'll get. But I got more than I deserve. So what happened is, I was ready to fulfill somebody's space, my senior space, and my boss also probably did not knew how I became the head of the sales department. And I used to travel, and I used to have my own agenda. I believed in exploring.
Right.
I believed in finding new, and that benefited the organization where I work. You have to always see not what the company is benefiting, but you have also learned so many things.
Correct.
And that helped me to start my own business at a young age without money, because I believe if people have to have money and start a business, they will not take money home. You should have a plan of how you are going to take money back home.
Right.
For that, in today's market also, there are many people who are going to back you, who are going to invest in you, and people will respect you when you honor your commitments.
So when you left your job, sir, you were how old? 26, 27?
Even my boss today would be surprised how this guy from such a lower position, I never gave him a promotion letter, I never gave him an increment letter, I never gave him a designation, but I had that capability that if I say something, my boss will only support me. Authority is not given, it is acquired. And this is the way I have empowered our present team also, that this is the way you have to take it forward. My present target when I talk to my people is, how do I bring that entrepreneur mindset in each and every person, whether he is in sales, whether he is in accounts, whether he is in stores, because it's a connectivity. Ultimately, the store guy also has to have that feeling how he is going to, through that small activity, delight a customer. Every person in the chain has to feel that he is working for the customer. If that culture we are able to build up in our organization, I think the retainership of the customers is lifelong.
Lifelong. So, if I may ask you a slightly personal question, Madanji, right? You mentioned about how your ambition or your passion was to see your mother smile, right? To put happiness on her face.
Yeah.
But was there a moment where she said, "Well done, beta. You have made me proud"? What was that moment?
I think I could feel her blessings every day in my life. I think whatever I have achieved in my life, but for her blessings, it wouldn't have been possible. I think it's primarily her blessings, because what we have achieved in our life is something extraordinary.
But any one instance where she was very happy?
She was always happy. I can give you one example. If anybody would talk to me rudely, she would protect me like a lioness.
Right.
She would not allow that guy to go away from the house without getting her firing. Right. She was very protective for me.
Sometimes there are things beyond science that we can't understand, but that grace, if it is there with you, then it can take you to a different orbit. So please tell us a little bit about your family, Madanji. Like, how many people are there and how many of them are involved in the business?
So for me in my life, family is first.
Right.
So we were all 5 brothers and sisters, siblings together, and I always believed that family is very important. I made lot of sacrifices personally only to see that the family bonding is not disturbed. And I am so thankful to Almighty. I am grateful that this is the hallmark of our family. It's very rare in our community. When there is economic freedom, people have their own wings to fly off. But in our family, whether my sons, my daughters, my sisters, we are a well-knit family. We have a very strong 3S formula working for our family. Now 3S formula is sacrifice, unconditional support, and unconditional sharing. My 2 sons are in this business. My son is the CEO now. My second son is an engineer from Purdue University, USA. My brother is there. My nephew is there. Sister's son is also there. Right. My son-in-law is there. And there are many family members. I am there to support the family. And for me, family is first. Any sacrifice is a small sacrifice for the unity of the family.
But about 7 or 8 close family members and about 15-20 distant members.
Absolutely. But today the second generation has really taken over the business, and they are, I would say, equally committed and involved, passionate. The young generation is more technology driven and they have a faster speed. Washi as an organization will survive any type of onslaught because of this family unity.
Family unity. Yes. Sir, I have to ask you a question on this. See, सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत ये होती है जब परिवार काम पे भी आता है, स्वाभाविक है कि कुछ ना कुछ disagreements हो सकते हैं, because we are all individual people with our own minds. Not that we want to fight, but काम करने का तरीका थोड़ा अलग होता है हर एक का. It is very easy for things to go wrong.
बहुत अच्छी तरह से इसको मैनेज करना चाहिए. In this life, we have to play different roles. I have to understand that at home, he is my brother, he is my son, but in business, he is my partner. I have to give him the respect I have to give to my partner. I cannot mix up the roles. Here there is equality, there is respect. So if I am not able to draw those boxes in my mindset, probably I will blunder and I'll blame the world around. So I am very conscious about it, and it starts from the top. There is a dharma in every relationship. You have to execute. You don't have to react. तूने कल ऐसा बोला तो मैं आज ऐसा करेगा. There is a dharma in every relationship. Follow the dharma. Third thing which I have experienced and I have applied in my family relationship is the spirituality part. In the home where there is spirituality, where spirituality doesn't mean only going to the temple. Spirituality for me is equality. respect for all, love for all, care for all, and always being available for any type of service to the society. If there is a spirituality balance, work balance and life balance, I think you will be able to survive the onslaught. I and my son have disagreed, but after 15 minutes we sit on the dining chair and I can take one small sweet and give it to him. Okay, this is very nice, you please have it. Huh? You have to break the ice. The moment I do this, there is going to be a smile on his face and mamla khatam.
So this is just so beautiful, Madan ji, right? So let me also tell you another practical example. You can be very disciplined. You can be very evolved. You can keep a box in your mind कि चलो ये मेरा relationship as a father and this is as my partner. But कभी-कभी सामने वाला जो है वो उस तरीके से react नहीं करता है. And कभी-कभी कुछ हफ्ते कुछ महीने निकल जाते हैं कि they are not able to see things the way you are seeing. So how does one keep the patience and how long will one keep the patience?
So you should not be distracted. I think the focus should be there on the ultimate goal for the subject and for the partnership purpose.
Right.
So these are distractions. Ultimately the goal is what is the ultimate success of the subject, because we are all individuals, we are all different, but at the same time if that person in those 2 hours is able to deliver the result which I want for the goal, I must respect and accept his independent nature.
Interesting. Okay.
तो इसमें जो मेरा सोच है ना, I can tell you, रिश्ते खून से नहीं बनते हैं, भाव से बनते हैं. भाव से स्वभाव बनता है और स्वभाव से कर्म बनता है.
One thing that I think is of common interest between both of us is both Chinmaya Mission and also Isha Foundation. What is the importance of spirituality in a material life? कि पैसे सबको बनाने हैं, तो इसमें spirituality, how is it helpful to us?
Again, I can give you the example of my mother who has inspired me on the spirituality, because we were very poor and I never saw her except white clothes. So we grew up, we had at least 7 to 8 drivers standing down with different cars, but my mother would go to the temple walking. She will not ask the driver to come. And she used to always wear white clothes, and she never wore gold or any other ornaments. That is why I have never touched gold in my life. So I think it was her upbringing, our family upbringing. See,
help you face difficulties.
You have to train your mind. I think the way I do it is bringing acceptance into your life. Once you have accepted कि वेंकट और मेरे में ये स्वभाव का फर्क है, the moment I accept that this is Venkat, this is Madan, this is my wife, this is me, this is my brother, this is me, and I don't try to make them like me. Has God sent us to audit? No, God has not sent us to audit on this planet. Why should I audit anybody? I have to audit only myself and improve myself, and that is the way I should look. If you have developed the capacity to accept things as they are, and if you are contented, you are going to only compare and compete with yourself. If you do these things, no, there will be a lot of peace. You will be able to sleep in 1 second.
So this is the summary of all philosophy in just two lines actually.
It doesn't come overnight. I would say these are the induction processes every family should have for their children. So there is calmness in the family. Love prevails where there is such happiness.
Usme, what does a typical day look like? What time do you get up? What do you do? When do you go to sleep?
So I'm an early riser.
Okay.
But I take 3 hours before I get ready.
Okay.
So 3 hours I spend for myself. I go for morning cycling inside the complex. Then I have somebody who comes for exercise or something. Then 1 hour with my wife, reading newspaper and talking to her and sharing my thoughts. Then getting ready, and by 9:30 I get ready.
Got it.
And then my routine starts. Sometimes if I find some people not aligning to the goals and targets, I call them for a breakfast meeting at home. So I believe that from 9 to 10, I sit with these people, attempt to bring certain thoughts in their mindset so that they are able to achieve the end goals. So 9 to 10, 2 to 3 times a week, I have this breakfast meeting with my managers, with my team people. Then my day starts. I come here, I go through my skill development center. I go to the warehouses, go around.
And you're in office from 11 to about 5, 6?
Up to 7:30.
Up to 7:30. And you come every day?
Every day.
Madan ji, okay.
If I'm in Bombay, I come.
You come every day?
I try to go with my people to the market also.
Right.
And meet the customers. For my automobile business, I also go and meet car mechanics.
Right.
I want to know what are their pain points, to see how we can address those issues with our principals. Correct. And make them comfortable.
So you have a pulse on the market.
Pulse of the market. Yeah. So recently, because of such a strong heat, so I suggested that we distribute among all the mechanics the caps, so that they feel that somebody has thought about this summer heat for me. So this is the way small activities create a good memory in their mindset.
And is there a routine before you go to bed? So you
Between 10 and 30, I prefer sleeping.
Right.
If somebody is sitting with me, I tell him my time is over.
So to switch tags, right, about how you have managed to successfully transition the management of the company. This is every entrepreneur's dream. What are the mantras or principles you have followed to successfully delegate, hand over? Because entrepreneur को थोड़ा डर भी लगा रहता है कि the way the next generation will take up or other people will take up, will it be the same as you? So how did you deal with those fears and anxieties?
So it is very easy to share your wealth in your family. It is very difficult to share power. So this is one reason that you find many reasons of not sharing power. Now delegating or planning a succession, matlab sharing of power or giving up power. So that's very difficult. Now how that is possible? If you have planned for yourself. One is, I am ready to leave this space, provided I know that I want to go to this space.
Right.
So I have to plan for this space.
Right.
Then I will leave this place and succession should happen. I think that should be a process in any organization. The managers should be made to leave their chair maximum in 2 to 3 years and go to the higher position. Next. They should plan. Then it becomes a process and a habit forming. People should leave their job when they are asked why, not why not. You are young, sorry, not young.
You are energetic, you are healthy, yeah. You have the passion.
Right. You are involved, you are curious to learn. Why are you leaving? So, when the energy in the family is ready to take over, and if I don't allow that energy to be utilized, and I have to fake my energy, because to run this type of organization every day morning, you need a quantum of energy to run this, and I have to fake it. So what am I doing to my family business? My objective should be, it should be nourished, it should be grown, and it should last for another 50 years, 100 years. My life is not going to last. So I have to be selfish, I have to hand over.
Right. But it's very interesting that you thought of the company as your first child.
Absolutely.
And you are saying the interest of that company is bigger than the interest of the individual.
Personal interest.
Right.
And if you are transparent, if you have built up an organization that the transparency is in knowledge and information is available, it is very easy. But if you have kept everything to your close chest, right, probably it is going to be tough.
Got it.
And it is always that you plan it in advance.
I also need to ask you this question, Madan ji, because you have shared this story with me of not only how you shared power, but also you shared the wealth. And it's very rare to see people during their lifetime give away the shares. And probably I don't know how many people know that you don't hold any shareholding in your own company.
Attachment hona chahiye. How it started when my children joined, the first thing I did, I asked my legal officer that wherever I can sign, they should be able to sign. Whatever powers I have, they will have. If they have doubts, if they don't understand, I am available to explain them, correct, but there are no restrictions.
Right.
Equality में मैं बहुत मानता हूँ. Equality, respect for all. At very early, I had made salary equal for all.
All family members.
All family members.
So it does not matter what role they play.
Family, it should never be measured in output. It should be measured in happiness term. Every person should feel equal. In chess, if you win, king and the queen don't feel happy. Even that small pawn feels happy. That small pawn is also family of that chess. The horse is there, the camel is there,
The
elephant is there. So everybody together in the chess game is a family, and the whole family wins the chess. And that is what I believe, family first. Their happiness is primarily the reason for this enterprise. If this enterprise benefit don't pass on to every family member, it is not worthwhile starting a family business.
Very interesting. So what you're really saying, Madanji, is that it is possible that different people have different capabilities within the family, different ability to create impact. But despite that, you are saying everyone has got the exact same salary,
Yes.
because you're saying the larger objective is to keep the family together and the enterprise together.
Absolutely.
If that is the objective,
It's
you are
very
saying this is a very small thing to do.
contribution.
Right.
Small contribution, and the objective of the leader is to get the best of that person.
Sure. So this takes us back to the first S, which is sacrifice.
Sacrifice. 3S formula: sacrifice, sharing, and support.
And this has to be done by the leader of the organization.
Starts from the top, not from the bottom. Bottom is a victim of the circumstances and is fired.
So having achieved so much, Madanji, in your life, what is the next goal? अगला पड़ाव क्या है?
नहीं, ये कंटिन्यूस रहना चाहिए. Even how much I know is very limited. I still can explore many new things. Every day world is evolving. There is no end. Purpose should always be unending.
Also, one question, Madanji, is you have seen so much of life, so much of business. India has also evolved a lot last 50 years. Full country has kind of undergone a change. What is your excitement? Let's say you were 50 years younger. What would be the goals that you will take on as an entrepreneur in New India?
The opportunities and technology which the young generation has in India today has never excited any generation earlier.
Right.
There were many more challenges, and those challenges took a lot of time and patience to survive. But in today's technology and opportunities both together, I think we are in the right frame. And if I were 50 years younger, I would be excited to drive this business, and as much as I see my children doing it today.
Correct.
So indirectly I am happy because somebody is doing it as a family and as an organization.
But you're confident about where the country is going in the next 20, 25, 50
Absolutely.
years?
I think we are in the right hands. The future belongs to people who have that mindset of AI and who are ready to be flexible and keep on changing tracks as per the need of the environment or the market or the society, social.
Right.
One has to be flexible. Yes, rigidity doesn't help in life. And I realize the more you are calmer, the more you are conscious, the more you are alert, you are able to fine tune your ideas, your opportunities, and move forward at the pace required by the
Correct.
society.
And these things have got nothing to do with your educational background, which community you come, and in fact, which business you run also.
The leadership doesn't mean that you know everything.
Correct.
You know how to get everything is leadership.
Leadership. Right. So, but you cannot outsource being conscious. You cannot outsource being alert.
Fundamental things you have to do
You
yourself.
have to do yourself.
They have to be within.
Within.
I think we should invest in that
Yeah.
rather than investing in one of these vocations.
Right. Friends, one more very interesting and I think very inspiring episode of cruX. Truly indebted to Madanji for his time and insights. In the Chinmaya mission, we asked a question that is it possible for spirituality and materialism to go hand in hand? And my Guruji gave the example of Janak Maharaj from our mythology, who was a Raj Rishi. So sometimes when I think of people like Madanji, that is the example that kind of comes to my mind. For me, some of the key takeaways from today's session were on the business side, it was on the customer centricity. I think everything that Madanji talked about was on how do I make my customer's life easier? How do I add value to him? How do I kind of create an environment, an ecosystem, a bouquet of services that makes the customer so dependent on me that he cannot think of leaving me. Also, I really loved his focus on customer experience. See, a lot of people will call a business like Vashi Electricals an industrial products distribution business, but he has made it a customer experience business. He talked about how technology has made the customer's life easy, how interactions of the customer dealing with Vashi has made the customer's life easy. how is it possible for somebody to place an order and get an overnight delivery? So the entire focus on customer experience, for me, the major takeaway from this was that it doesn't matter which business you are in, customer experience is still the top layer which you need to make sure is absolutely strong. The second aspect that touched me a lot about Madanji's wisdom and his insights were on the ability to sacrifice. And I think we touched upon sacrificing or handing over or transitioning both on the management side and on the ownership side. I think this is one of the toughest things that founders, especially first generation founders, find because we feel that, look, we have built the business. So till that time I have the passion and energy, why should I give it up? Quitting when you're at the top, and as in Madanji's own words, to say why rather than why not, I think it's a very powerful thought. Is the interest of the business served better by the next generation taking over the succession from you? Thirdly, I think on a very deeply personal note, I really respect and love Madanji's love for his mother and for his family, right? Two things for me really stood out, where he said, the family is the most important thing for me. And the second thing that he mentioned, which I think will remain with me for a very long time, he said, I never went after money. What I went after was a smile on my mother's face. We need to put some of these things on top. Money is an outcome. I think the larger goal, the larger purpose, if it is to look for the happiness of somebody else, I think the material outcomes are merely a result of the larger purpose that we are trying to chase in life. So once again, feeling very inspired, feeling very energized, and looking forward to seeing you at the next episode of cruX. Thank you so much.